Hey there. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Deliver More Show, brought to you by the team at Florigistics and produced by the creative minds over at Intech MKT. We're coming to you from Delaware once again, and we've missed you. It's been a while. It's September now, and we're back from our summer break with a new season of shorter form episodes that are just packed with industry insight and knowledge. And speaking for the whole team involved, we can't wait to bring them to you. It's my pleasure at this moment to welcome back these guys. Welcome back our panel. It's great to see them. Everybody say hello to the mayor of Dewey Beach, Mr. Mike Patterson.
What's up, everyone? Good to
How
be
you doing,
back.
buddy? Yeah, man, it's
Doing
good to
good.
it's good to do this again. And you know who's joining us, Mike? He's that cleanup hitter who is currently wreaking havoc on the NL East. The man known as the Wolf, Chris Lord. Welcome back, brother.
Thanks for having me, Nick. It's good to be back in the wolf den here, as you can see.
Absolutely, absolutely. So jumping right in and speaking to our customers directly, we thought this was an important way to kick off the season with you guys, because there are some changes when it comes to Chemours product manufacturing locations. And I'm gonna toss the ball right over to you, Wolf. Explain the why behind these changes.
Well, as a general business practice, companies are looking at ways to either save money or, be more efficient. And, Chemours had mentioned to us, some time back that they were thinking about possibly, using some other manufacturing facilities for coatings. And, so they came to us in June 2023 and advised us that Mechlin was going to be handling a lot of the liquid coatings. So that transition really started last year, and it's still kind of been ongoing, for the most part. Powders remained, manufactured in Parlin, New Jersey, but really most of the liquids, with the exception of acid, moved over to Mechlin.
So those specific products have moved over to Mechlin.
Yep. Yeah. So the water-based and the solvent-based coatings, moved over to Mechlin Manufacturing. And we've been receiving them now for, pretty solid 8 months, and, everything's been going pretty well so far.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So let me jump to something that's really important to the people watching this, Mike Patterson. If I'm a customer, here's what I care about. What does this mean for me, brother?
Right. And that's what they should care about. And that's what we really care about is what did this mean and how can we really help to shield the customer base from hiccups that are associated with switching manufacturing from Parlin, which was an hour and a half from our warehouse, to Mechlin, which is thousands of miles away. And oh yeah, you got to go across the ocean.
Right.
So it's pretty tricky, and there's a lot to it. And we spend a lot of time really trying to understand how we can best manipulate our inventory to carry more stock to offset the extended lead times. The manufacturing times are about the same. There's not really any difference in how long it takes to make a batch of 420 G703, as an example. But the transit from Europe to USA by ocean or even by air, and that's been the real eye opener to us, is an air shipment. Sometimes we're used to FedEx, boom, it's picked up, dropped off the next morning. Like, not the case. Air transit from Europe to the US is measured in weeks, not days, because there's complications around booking air, which are exacerbated when you start talking about moving quantities of freezable, hazardous, flammable liquids from one region to another. So we run into a lot of delays with that. There's also delays with customs. Sometimes things arrive in New York and they'll sit for a day or two or three or four until they get cleared customs, then get pushed to our warehouse here in Newark, Delaware. So there's a lot involved. It took us some time to really kind of get our head in the right place around how much safety stock we'd have to carry to offset all these delays. So, we've have that pretty well nailed down. There's just a lot of math and a lot of extra money that Florigistics put into our warehouse to basically bulk up our inventory to where we can still continue to ship customers in the way that they've grown accustomed to over the years.
So if I can put on the customer hat one more time and stay with me, Mike,
Mhm.
as a customer, what can I do at this time?
The biggest thing that you can do, Nick, and thanks for redirecting long answer I gave, is share with us as much as you know about what you think your demand might be moving forward. Even if it's 5 gallons that you find out you're going to have an ongoing job and it's something small, 5 or 10 gallons a month, let us know, because all of those pieces of information help us to build a better forecast and to handle the inventory the right way. Because what ends up happening when lead times are stretched out into 90 plus days, if we get a spike in demand that we aren't expecting, that no one's expecting, our ability to bounce back from that's greatly reduced. So we really appreciate any sort of blanket orders, any sort of advanced just communication around what demand is going to look like. I think from a sales side, we're trying to ask more questions, especially to the people that buy larger quantities, so that way, we can try to dial in what people might have. And obviously, we know the markets change. You may not need everything you thought, but we're going to sell it. Most of this stuff has long shelf lives, and we can burn through inventory like the best of them. So, but yeah, any communication is the long and the short of it. That's really, really the best thing you can do for yourself, is to just keep us in the loop on what you think you're going to be using.
All right.
And that,
All
and
right.
just one other thing, Nick, like that nimbleness that we used to have, it's taken us a while to get used to not having that anymore too. So it's something that we've had to become
That's
accustomed to,
true.
because I mean, the things that we could do at Intech when manufacturing was in New Jersey, we just don't have anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
would
understandable.
literally I'd go up in my SUV and throw stuff in the back sometimes. I mean, pick it up and bring it back to the warehouse. So I
Yeah.
mean, now it's just a lot of those things we're handcuffed, and Chris is right. It took us a while because we were just like, oh, they can just air it over to us, and it's like they can. It's
Not that easy.
40 drums of PFA. They can't
Yeah.
air that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, things change. The good part here is being transparent and communicating the best possible way with your client base. So, and we're doing that right now. One more thing that I guess I would be curious about, Wolf, if I'm a client, when the products do arrive, are they going to look the same? This isn't like when Miller Lite changed its logo and I fell on the floor for 3 weeks and didn't know what to do. Things still going to look the same way?
Yes and no. So the solvents are still in cans. And the cans are a little bit taller, because it's 4 kgs, not 3.5 kgs. The thinner cans are much taller. They're 5 liters versus 1 gallon. So the boxing's a little bit different. And then the water-based coatings, they come in a completely different container, that only maybe people that ever had experience with ETFE had ever seen, because our ETFE primer was in that container. So they will look different. You'll notice it for
Yeah.
sure.
One more thing I think is important is anything, should customers pay attention to the labels in particular?
Yeah, the labels for the most part stay the same. Really, the big change was on the certs. The
Okay.
certs that come in, they're reflecting the place of manufacture now, and the European dating system that they use, a date system. It's like a day, month, year type of ordering. So that's a change for folks as well. And it took us a while to looking at it to
Yeah.
figure it out, unless we're a soccer pro like you and can figure
Yeah.
it out. So.
Yeah. I always say that helps, right?
When
Follow
he
one of
said
those leagues.
when Chris said European dating system, I thought he was talking about like a new European
New
Tinder or
Tinder.
something. I was
Yeah.
like, what is he talking about?
Well, answers are
Well,
everywhere,
look,
Mike.
there's another thing we can develop on the side, make some real cash.
No pun
Uh,
intended.
we're talking so many we're talking so many changes, and that tends to that people approach those changes with apprehension sometimes, Mike. So talk about the things that are not going to change.
Right. I mean, I think, as Chris said when we started this whole thing off, this has to do primarily with solvent and water-based products. So one couple key things that haven't changed is powders and acid primer are still made in New Jersey. So all the PFA, and et cetera, which is our main powder product, but they're all still made in New Jersey, still close to home. Same with acid primer. So that's there. And then we still continue to buy some of our specialty materials, a couple specialty powders from Asia Pacific. So that's still the same. And we've been used to dealing with those crazy lead times. So those are still the same, and still, no changes to supply chain there.
All right. What about recipes, Wolf?
No, recipes are the same. Formulas, SDSs are the same. I think one other big, I think that solidifies, the business is that the people, the people you talk to here at Florigistics, between Mike, myself, Steve, Patrick, and now Megan, recently are all, we've been doing this business for a long time, and that didn't change. So, and I think, for the most part, we're pretty straight shooters with the customers about what's going on, and or trying to be in front of things that they need to be, wary of. So, I mean, I think that's a real bonus, for the business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having those same people, and hi Megan, welcome. It's good to throw that out there again. It's the goal is always to try to help customers work through the transition, Mike. And I think you
Yep.
guys are, today's a great example of that.
Yeah, I think it's always kind of our goal, as you know, Nick, and the customers, I think, all realize that we want to be a part of a solution and deliver more to them aside from just what's in the can or what's in the jug. So, communication's free. So it's fun for us to be able to try to be proactive and to be forthcoming with what we can that might help them even a little bit. If we can help somebody overcome a supply barrier or better understand what we're going through now, then we certainly want to do that.
Communication's key, and as is the commitment to work together with your customer base. That hasn't changed throughout the years. It didn't change at any transition, so that's going to stay the same, gentlemen. Very, very good of you to come here and explain all this to us, to our audience. I thought the audience might just like to get inside your heads in a fun
Uh-oh.
way. It's
It won't be in
September.
mine, that's for
No,
sure.
it's September. I'm going to
Good luck.
start with you, Wolf. A lot of us around here are very happy that it seems like the Phillies woke the hell up recently, and thinking of the fall, and I love when we get to do that fall baseball, gentlemen. It's one of my favorite things when it's a little cold outside. It just seems like a more, I don't know, lovely pastime in the fall for me. Wolf, if you were a major league player, I'm curious to know. Chris Lord's introduced. You're walking up to the plate. What is your walk-up song?
Oh my God. I've thought about this so many times, Nick. It's funny. So you're just thinking from the batting perspective. Um, Big Van Halen guy, old
Good
Van
man.
Halen. I'm talking about a David Lee Roth, Van Halen.
Diamond Dave.
So like Intruder or Unchained, great tunes.
Absolutely.
I did not see that coming.
A little
I
hard.
didn't. No, man, I would love coming up to the plate, the Unchained. That's a good one,
Well,
man.
so I like
Wow.
Intruder if I'm a
Unchained
reliever
Melody?
coming in.
Unchained Melody.
Not Unchained Melody. No, I'm not putting people to sleep.
All right, smart guy. Mike, what's your walk-up song?
That is a tough one because I'm kind of all over the place. Part of me feels like I'd want to do something that's like a little younger for the younger audience. So I think I would do something more like a present day song. But I'm not sure what it would be. It would, oh, man, I think it would probably be some sort of 21 Pilots song because I
Oh,
think a lot of people might kind of get up onto that. So I'll have to think through it. I don't know. Caught me off
very,
guard.
very, very good.
Not A-okay. Not A-okay.
And then the other thing I wanted to get your take on, we've all been there where we get excited to go to a sporting event, and then the thing just goes south. I was curious, what's the worst sporting event you've ever been to, Mike?
Yeah, hands down, I know this answer. Playoff game, Ravens home playoff game, hosting the Tennessee Titans about 5 years ago. They're the number one seed. They get a first round bye. It's a Saturday night, 8 p.m. game, which I always say is my favorite time slot. We have an awesome tailgate. It's great weather, and the Ravens go in and completely shit their pants. It was awful.
Heartbreaker. How about you, Wolf?
I got to go with football also. The Eagles Tampa Bay
Oh,
NFC Championship game, last game at the Vet,
You were there?
and I was there. It was like 10 degrees out. It was so cold. And thank God the ticket was free. Somebody gave me a ticket, so that was great. But yeah, the Eagles take the kickoff back right down to the 5-yard line, score, and they maybe scored 3 more points the rest of the game. And what's his name? The guy from Penn State still running. The Eagles don't see him. They threw Joe Jurevicius. is still running with the ball. They threw him
The
that
name.
that weak side little screen, and the Eagles were nowhere near him, and he ran all the way into the city of Philadelphia before anybody caught him.
I think
Ridiculous.
all of us have that one Eagles game, and it's usually a playoff game when they just
Yeah.
stink at the very end.
If
So
you're
I'm
from
hoping.
this area, Nick, you have a lot of heartbreak. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just, especially
yeah.
sports wise.
Don't get me into Flyer stuff. Look, I'm hoping for a lot more positive news for this area when it comes to sporting events
Yeah.
this fall. Guys, thanks for playing along. This was a lot of fun. We're going to see everybody next month. Mike, Wolf, thanks so much.
Thanks, Nick. Great job.
Thank you, Nick. Go Phils.
All right. And to all our viewers, thanks again for tuning in. It's great to see you. Welcome back. And look, we're going to see you next month from Delaware on Deliver More. Bye-bye now.